right, guys. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today for Kineo Totara Office Hours. Today we are going to talk about the user's profile. We really haven't talked about it a whole lot because it's something that you don't really think about as being there. You know that it's there, but you don't really think of it as being super useful sometimes. But there are a few things that are in the profile that your learners may find useful and you may find useful. So we're going to take a look at that today. A little bit about myself. My name is Taylor Craig. I am a platforms consultant here at Kineo. So what that includes is training existing customers, potential customers, working with our sales team, working with our implementation solution architects. I wear a couple of different hats. So that is what I do here at Kineo. So let's talk about user profiles. So you know they have user profiles, but why in the world are they important? There are some reports that are available to learners about themselves that are really cool and pretty handy. And then also they have the ability to set preferences for themselves. And you may be thinking, uh-oh, I didn't know that. Can you show me where to turn that off? So we'll talk about which things are permissions, which things are system administrative settings, and what you have to do to turn certain things off and on. And we will go ahead and get started. So I am in as an administrator, but I want to start as a learner because we want to see somebody's profile that doesn't have full-on permissions all the way across the site. So this is a Totara 9 site. So to access the learner's profile, I have the drop-down menu here. And they can click on profile. Anywhere where you see someone's name, if you click on their name, that's going to take you to a profile. So I'm going to go to my profile and share it. Couple of things to point out here. When she comes to her profile, she sees some information about herself. You'll notice she has the ability to edit her profile. In a core instance, users can edit their profile, so they can go in, they can change their picture, they can change quite a few different things about themselves. So if you want to turn off the ability to edit their profile altogether, it's going to be a permission, and I'll show you where you set that permission and why you would set it in that certain place. They're also going to see if they have any job assignments. Now in Totara 9, your position and organization is called job assignments instead of primary position like it was in older versions. And they'll see it listed here. So she's a district manager of retail stores, and when she actually clicks into this, this is kind of the description of her overall placement in the company. When she clicks into this, it should show her her direct position and her organization. So she's the district manager of retail stores in the Midwest. She also sees that her manager is Peter Porter. Okay, so she sees a few things about herself. Here she's going to see a list of the courses that she is enrolled in and that she is currently taking. Here she's going to see some miscellaneous things show up. So she sees forum posts. If you have blogs turned on, she would likely see that here. Various different things here, but she'll see any forum postings that she has made and any forum discussions that are going on. So if she goes to forum discussions, says you haven't started any yet, so she hasn't started any forum discussions. But she may have some postings to some forums. Okay, so she doesn't have any. But I frequently use this area within my own profile when I go to the Totara support site. So if you've used the Totara support site at all and submitted any forums, I know Jose has because I've seen his name in there a couple of times. If you can't find something that you maybe posted about months ago, you can go in there and click on forum posts, and then you'll see all of your different postings. So you will have the ability to see those, and it's just kind of an easy way to get back to stuff. And then also here we've got some preferences and then also the ability to manage private files. We'll talk a little bit about what exactly those are. But the main thing I wanted to look at here is going to be this course completion report that they see for themselves. So they can click on course completion. And what this is going to show them is it's going to show them the courses that are currently in progress, courses they've completed, and courses they've not yet started. It's going to show them what the criteria is in that course. So this one says there are activities for you to complete. There's 37 total activities in this particular course. She has completed 5. She can also come in here and click on the detail view. So if she clicks on the detail view, she just basically gets a listing of everything inside that course. So it's basically a list of all the activities and resources that are in that course. Then she's able to see kind of what the requirement is for it. So she's got to view the scorum, view the quiz, view the face-to-face. So this particular course, this particular course is focused primarily on viewing, but in some cases you have to complete the quiz with a 50% or 80% or whatever, and she would see that there. Then she sees the status, so she sees that she's completed this one, this one, this one, and then some down here. Okay, she sees completion dates, she sees a yes or a no as far as if she has completed it. She can click on return to course, and that will actually take her straight into the course. So she has access inside of this course here. Okay, I'm going to go back to her profile. She can also see browser sessions. So basically what she sees here is all the different times that she has logged in. She's going to see this current particular session and see the IP address from which she's logging in. There's also a grade report that they see, and this is currently on any courses that have grades and courses that she's currently actively in. Okay, so not a whole lot that she can do there, but I really, really like this course completion report. She can do quite a bit with that. Okay, so let's take a look also at the preferences that she can set. So she can do that via the profile, coming to the administration block and then preferences, or she can come up here and go straight to preferences. It's going to take her to both places. Same place. So I'm going to click on preferences. I accidentally clicked private files. So we're going to click on preferences. And here she's able to manage a couple of different things about herself. So she can come in, she can edit her profile, she can change her password, she can set her preferred language, her forum preferences, what that's going to be referring to is her subscription, how she is subscribed to the different forums. She can change her editor, so that's going to be her text editor if she has TinyMCE or Atto. That's where she's going to see that. She can set her messaging preferences. This one's probably the most commonly used. And so you'll see here where she can choose as far as personal messages between users, if it's going to be used in the task block, pop-up notification or email, or the alert block. You'll see here that this one is forced and this one is forced. So that means she can't make any other decision. The selection that we have made as a system administrator, she's unable to change what we have done. Okay, so just keep that in mind, but she can change any of these. But if you don't want her changing any of this, you can go in as an admin and you can force this. Okay, so there's lots and lots of settings here that she has access to. And in Core, they do have all that access. Okay, so what we're going to talk about here is which one of these are manageable via settings and which ones are manageable via permissions. So editing a profile, changing your password, those are going to be managed utilizing permissions. So let's take a look as an administrator what those permissions are and which role you would alter. So underneath site administration, get this to drop down. Users, permissions, define roles. And I have lots and lots of roles on my site. I have several custom roles on here. But the role that you're going to alter is going to be the authenticated user. Now, you don't typically want to mess with this role a whole lot, but if you need to take away certain things, such as the ability to edit a profile or change a password, you can come in and you can edit the authenticated user. Keep in mind, everyone on the site is an authenticated user if they have a username and password. So that's why you would edit the authenticated user role and not the learner role. Because Sharon is a learner in a course, she is not a learner in her profile per se or on the front page per se. But she is an authenticated user in her profile and on the front page. Okay, so if we go into the role of authenticated user, click on the edit icon there. And then come down, let this kind of load up, still loading. There we've got our filter option. So we're going to search for password. Okay, and you'll see here, change own password. That is set to allow. All you have to do is uncheck it and then save those changes. And then when we come in as Sharon, you have to refresh her screen. We should see change password disappear. There it went. Okay, so that got rid of the ability to change her password. She doesn't even see it anymore. Okay, when in doubt, just come into the role and go back into our role of authenticated user. And see what I'm doing here. I have one screen open. I've got Chrome open here. That's the colorful one. And then I've got Firefox. It's just the plain gray one. I try to stay logged in as a learner and an administrator. That way I can go back over to that learner role and I can refresh it and see that that permission did in fact do what I thought it would do. Guys, when you're messing with roles, think about it like an electrical panel. If you have a light bulb on an electrical panel and you need to figure out which wire turns the light bulb on, you're going to change a wire, and if the light bulb turns on, great, you found it. If the light bulb does not turn on, put the wire back, because if you move all these wires around all at once, you're never going to know which one turned it on, right? So always put it back if it doesn't do what you think it's going to do, or if it maybe wasn't, it did what you thought, but it wasn't what you wanted. So always set it back to what you set it to if it's not meeting the need. Okay? So there's lots of different things that you can search for, and you can always search for each of those things. So if you're not sure if it's a permission or if it's an administrative setting, you can always come in and you can search for things like profile. That should pull up the ability to edit your own profile. So we have here edit own user profile. That's turned on. Edit user messaging profile. That's also something that we saw that you can set to allow or disallow. Manage blocks on your own profile. You can take that ability away. So different things to pay attention to. Another thing to pay attention to when looking at permissions, we have blocked, logged in user, system, Totara core, users, course. Pay attention to the bolded area because it's going to tell you where that permission is affecting them. So here we've got system, so that's going to be a system-wide setting, so it's going to affect the profile, right? But down here, it's in the course, okay? So just pay attention to where you are altering the permission as well, okay? There are a few things that you can do inside of profiles to lock down different things. One place where you can look is underneath authentication. So plugins, authentication, and manual accounts. Typically, most of your accounts are going to be manual, and if they were created using HR import, that would make them manual. Here you have the ability to lock fields. So if you want them to be able to edit pieces of their profile, but not all of it, you can come in and you can actually lock or unlock if it's empty. And so you can manage that particular piece of information there. Okay, let's jump back as Sharon and look at one other thing. Here with the manage badges, this only allows her to manage her own badges. Okay, so that's what that does. But if we go back and take a look at her profile again, let's take a look at the My Private Files area. So here we have the ability to manage private files. So what this does is it allows her basically kind of a storage place. She has a little bit over 100 megabytes here worth of storage that she can manage and add files in. She can then use those files inside of her courses. She can do a variety of things with those files. Okay, so it's just basically like a built-in jump drive, and they have access to it. A lot of people don't realize that's there. So let's take a look at where you manage that private files area. So I'm going to search for private, and that should pull up the settings around it. Here's another little trick. If you're confused as to whether or not where a setting might be, just search for a word that you know might contain it. And then that will pull back anywhere where that word is potentially referenced. So here we see search results for private files. That's the one we're looking for. We're going to click that. I say it's the one we're looking for. It actually isn't. That's repository. Sorry about that. Let's see here. We've got here in your site policies. So that would be under server and then site policies. No, that's security. Security site policies. Here you can choose how many bytes are available for use by the users. And I thought there was a particular setting around private files, but I'm not seeing it. I can follow up in a follow-up email and see, maybe under user policies. I'm going to search for file, see what that gives us. There used to be a setting for turning it directly off, but it may have moved to a permission. And I can verify that. I will verify that and locate it, because I know that there used to be a way to manage your private files area for learners and whether or not you wanted it off or on. So that very well could have changed in 9 and I just haven't caught it yet. Okay. So looking at the profile, quite a few things that people can do. Some people may not realize that you had the ability to do those. Okay. So any questions around this or anything else? I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys.